What's going on, guys? Welcome back to MD Fish Tanks build video. So recently I bought a pair of golden rams. Now these fish are awesome and I've been keeping them in a little temporary setup just to look at them, you know, make sure they're okay. I've also treated them for internal parasites, so hopefully we're good to go. But I want to build a really nice sort of naturalistic tank for them, something that's a little bit different to what I've done before but should look really good. Now I've got a tank in mind for them that's massively overgrown, but it should work really well. And this right here is the tank in question. It's looking ridiculous, isn't it? So I actually grew this out, many of you'll know. I grew it out because I wanted a load of the plants. I've taken a whole load of them out that back section, but there's still way too many. We've got moss all at the front. Can't pick it up because it's so dark. Anyway, I need to get all of that out. It's all done. There's quite a nice little school of ember tetra in there that I want to be using back in Escape. I think they'll go really well with the rams that we've got planned to go in here. But first of all, it's just a case of getting everything out. Water level brought right down low. Remember to do this, guys. If you're trying to catch your fish with the water full, just stop. Just bring it down. You'll be there forever. And there they are. There's a nice little group. Oh, there's an Amana shrimp as well. Yeah, nice little group there. I'm going to catch those, put those separate for the time being, just while we're doing the build. I need to take everything out, and then I want to do a black background on this one. Right, there we go. That is the tank all clean. Well, that's not true. It's not all clean. It's as clean as I'm willing to clean it or give the amount of time to. But it's clean enough, isn't it? So this will not be the first Blackwater tank I've done. I've already done this tank down here. So this is my Pistogramma tank. Where are you guys? So we've got all the glow light tetras here. I'll give it a tap. Hopefully they'll come forward. Guys? Guys? Oh, there he is. That's the female coming forward. Now, there's the male there. There we go. They know there's no food coming because I've already fed them today, so I think that's why they're like, yeah, you can tap all you want. We know the score. Beautiful, beautiful fish. And then also, we've got this tank here. This is the Blackwater one for the neon tetras with a little bit of weird algae in this area. Again, I leave it because it'll take 2 seconds to wipe it off, but it just looks quite cool, doesn't it? Really naturalistic look to this one. So yeah, as you can see, I've done the Blackwater already, but both of those tanks have got clear backgrounds on. I've seen some really nice ones online that are all black and that like real sort of dark and gloomy look. That's what I want to go for the golden rams. So yeah, first job is to try and spin this round and paint the back with just some black paint I've got. It's just, I think it's black masonry paint, but it does the job well and it dries nice. Click subscribe. Now, I know some of you smart guys out there will be saying, why don't you just paint the front, MD, then spin it round? That's because the front's completely clear and there's a couple of scratches on the back that I noticed, so I'd rather just have that as the background. So you're not going to see any of the scratches then, are you? And just like that, the tank is set up and ready to go. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but I do know at the top here of my sort of wood selection area, I've got this big piece that I took out of the Amazon, this tank, sorry, turn around. This tank here, oh, reflections are crazy. Anyway, so there was some big bits of wood in here, and down in this gap is where I took that out from. It would be great to be able to use that again, so I think I'm going to. It's quite big though. Right, as you'll see here, look, it is pretty huge in comparison to, well, I've just chucked it. That fits perfect. That could be onto something actually, that's quite nice. A little bit weird, it's not following any sort of line. I suppose we can create a line. I've got this other little piece here we could do something with. I don't know, maybe like that, coming out with it to create like a fallen sort of tree look. Gives us a triangular composition anyway. And actually that's quite good because it means behind here I can maybe build up for the whole planting area and keep this as like an open white sand and then, you know, some carpeting plants. Yeah, I think that'll look quite good, but I'll keep it simple. There's some nice flat edges on here as well, which everyone says is really, really good for the rams to be able to breed on. So hopefully that works. Or I tell you what we could do that would work really well, I think anyway. It might be too big. Switch it around, and then we're going to give it the perspective of it going into the distance. Hopefully. With that other piece as well, just coming up smaller. Little gap. What do we think? I think I really like that. Let me take you off the tripod and move you around a little. This reflection there is annoying me. Hang on, there we go, that's better. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably not gonna work, is it? I like the idea of using the large piece in the foreground coming backwards, but this is just too bulky. I think it was better the other way around. And I'm sure some of you guys have done this before yourself, where you've just thought, I'm gonna give this a go. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, just admit defeat and start again, no problem. Right, something doesn't feel quite right at the moment. Let me fiddle around with it. You'll know when it's right. Okay, so that pushes that further back. There we go. Oh, ow, I just stood on something. Yeah, slight angle a bit more, just to bring it out. Yeah, look at that. Impactful, but we've still got a good amount of foreground. Shadows casting, it's explosive, it's got great height. Yeah, let's just go with that. Stick with something once you find it and just, yeah, run with it. So I've got these cool rocks here that I got from Aquarium Gardens. I don't know the name of them off the top of my head. Well, I do, but I can't pronounce it, so I'll put it on the screen. Bit of broken wood there. There we go. So we can put that somewhere like there. You know, that sort of locks everything in place. Another couple. I don't want to go over the top of the rocks because I want there to be a lot of sort of sand, because I want it to look kind of that sort of American or South American vibe, you know, that nice white sand effect. That's going to look great, isn't it? And you know what? I think that's it for hardscape. I really like that, nice and basic, and there's still loads of room for planting, for substrate and everything. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Right, speaking of substrate, I need to get a base layer in now, and then we can put the decorative sand on the top of that. Why am I saying it like that? Right, I fully admit that is ugly as hell. It's not staying like that. Like I say, we've got the nice white sands going on in that. And as I put all those layers in, I'll probably keep lifting the stones so they're sitting on top of the new layer. I want to keep them up higher, otherwise they're just going to hide them, and they're too beautiful to hide, aren't they? So next up, I've got some like normal sort of whitishy, yellowy sand to go in. Then I'll put a coarser gravel on top and probably sort of mix them in a little. Actually, no, I'll mix them in a bucket first. Oh, there we go, already looking naturalistic as. So you might have noticed there I was pouring quite a lot in this section. I want to make sure that I filled in any gaps. We don't want a load of detritus, food, poop, everything getting stuck underneath there later on. But yeah, I've kept it sort of wavy. I want to do that on purpose. That's how these sort of, I don't know, naturalistic biotopy tanks, they do have that, and it does look better. It looks far more realistic than a just sort of squared off front. The next thing we need to do is start adding a ton of detail. I want loads of detail, just like it's a dirty river bottom. Oh, come on, yes. So I might add more, I might add less, I might whiten it up again. I don't know yet, but for now, like, that looks real, doesn't it? Well, I mean, it's got a glass box around it and a jet black background with an MD sign in the reflection. But other than that, it looks real. I'm taking it. It's real. Do you know what? We can pretty much fill it up now, I think, anyway. It might be a little bit misty to start, but we can use some AccuClear from APR or something like that and just clear the water in no time. I didn't wash any of this sand, so it probably will dust a little, but we can just do water changes. Yeah, whatever. Actually, saying that, shall I plant now or shall I plant with water? It might be best actually to get some of the foreground stuff planted now. Yeah, we'll do that first. Right guys, it's actually the next day and I went home last night and I was thinking, how can I achieve the look I'm trying to get? So what I'm trying to get is a lot of green in the top section of the tank and not a huge amount in the bottom, just a few little bits of detail here and there. Now usually people use like floating plants for that, but I want to go really green at the top, and I had an idea of actually gluing pieces of Java fern, small pieces, to those pieces of wood. I think that should hopefully give me the look I'm going for. If it doesn't, I mean, I can take them off, but I think it will work. So yeah, I'm talking about this section here of the wood, of course. So like right up the top here, we can glue some Java fern. And again, that's near the surface. This one's right near the surface. So there's like a little nook there we can get it into, and also right up here as well. I think that'll look so, so good. And then little tufts of detail in the bottom. Now the Java fern we're going to use, I've got over here in my storage tank, so it's looking really lush. It's been growing in there and doing really well for, about a month and a half now. Sometimes it does feel, what's that? Oh, it's a bit of that plant broken off. Yeah, sometimes it does feel a little bit bad, like destroying these kind of scapes, but that is what it's here for. It's for me to be able to pick out bits when needed. Oh yes, that's going to work an absolute treat, isn't it? It's making some nice shadows as well. Again, I want some more than that, but that's not going to stay there. I've just rested it. We need to stick it down with our old friend, the cyanoacrylate super glue gel. This guy is completely fish safe. It's basically, think of it as like wet or liquid plastic. Once the liquid goes, ironically underwater, it's just a hard plastic, so it's like all safe for fish. Oh, and also I've just remembered I haven't actually stuck this wood down. It'll probably float up. It might not, but I'm not sure. I don't want to take any risks. So I'm going to stick some glue in that point there and then chuck some of the sand over it to hide the glue. And again on that point there, and that should lock everything down. Oh yes, we're looking so, so good. Right, next up, foreground plants. And for that, I'm going to use a load of sage that I've just taken out of, this is my plant storage tank. There's some in the foreground there, but I just uprooted a load from the back there. It's now looking a right mess, but it's okay. It'll be worth it. Put these in. I don't want too many, you see, so just sort of in the backgroundy areas. It will grow everywhere eventually if you don't keep on top of it, but we want to keep that foreground area nice and clear so we can put all our sort of botanicals and stuff like that in to make it look ultra realistic. Looking sweet, like I say, just a little bit of green detail on the floor, the base. What are we calling that? Who cares? Anyway, you can see at the top here, Java Fern's starting to dry out, so we need to make sure we've got a sprayer on hand at all times and just keep spraying regularly. Regularly. Keep spraying often. Right, we're looking sweet. It's now time to lay in our botanicals. Now, by botanicals, I mean it's like seeds, pods, leaves, all stuff and litter that's on the forest floor. And I've got it all here, a nice big group of it all. Hang on, there you go. I mean, you're going to see it in the tank, so I don't know why I'm showing you here. But anyway, yeah, you just want to sort of litter that all in the foreground a bit. Some of those leaves are quite big, so I'm just going to break them up because I think it will give a much better effect. Oh, awesome. It looks like a forest floor, doesn't it? Now, some people aren't going to like that. You don't have to use the botanicals if you don't want to. But seeing as I'm going for like a realistic effect, I think it's a really good choice. Although saying that, Java Fern is not native to South America, but it's green. We like green. Job done. Right, I can fill this up with water now. Oh, there we go, we're filled up, we've got bubbles everywhere, but that is the look I was going for. The green all at the top, hints of green at the bottom. Now, the problem is that water is crystal clear, isn't it? But we want a Blackwater scape, so I'm going to be adding something to the water now that like instantly tints it. And this is the stuff, look, rooibos herbal tea. It's from Africa, I think, and it's like, look at it, it's just all completely natural and it just makes the water go absolutely amazing. So you just got to brew it up, it's in tea bags. And it's as simple as that, guys. Now, you would not believe how amazing this stuff smells. It smells so good. I've actually drunk it now as well, and it tastes great as well. You don't need it with milk or anything. You could just have hot water and the tea bag. Oh, it's so nice. We'll give it a few more minutes to stew, and then we can pour it in. Okay, starting to look good, but for me that's not enough. We need like 5 more tea bags. Whoa, that is dark. Now, that might be a little bit too dark, may not be, I don't know yet. We'll see what it's like with the fish in there and everything. But you know, in the coming days, I'm going to be doing water changes anyway, which actually will dilute it. I might tan it back again though, because it's looking great so far. I mean, next to everything else, look at it. Right, it's time to get that filter hooked back up. Oh, I haven't mentioned yet. So I'm using an external canister filter. Pipes run up here and just plugs in the side. Right then, let's let some of those bubbles clear and then we can put our new fish in. The leaves are being blown around a little bit at the moment. I've tried to diffuse the outlet into that sort of clump of Java Fern there, and it's sort of working, but you know, they're all covered in bubbles at the moment, look, so they're trying to float. Eventually they'll find their own little spots and settle, which is like really realistic, to be fair. That's what would happen, isn't it, in like a natural stream or river or whatever. Right, there we go, the water's cleared really nicely. It's still a little bit of murkiness to it, but that is quite cool because it gives these sort of light rays coming down. But I do want to add a little bit more of the green, and to do that I want to add in some of this here. This is milfoil and it looks amazing, doesn't it? It's so green. It doesn't actually need to be planted, so we can just loop it around the back as well, and I think that'll give a really good effect. Right, I think we're almost there. That looks really good, doesn't it? Just sat there like that. But I do think we're missing something in this middle section at the back. So I have got a nice big piece of Java fern here. It's seen better days. Half of it's been sat out of a bucket, half of it's been in a bucket for the last few months. But it should look good back there. You'll barely notice it, to be honest, but it'll just be a little hint of something in the darkness. There we go, looking good. Do you know what? You can barely actually see the Java fern in the background that we put in, but it's just there for a little bit of detail, and I think that's worked nicely. But I think we're ready for fish now. Yeah, let's just go for it. Oh my goodness, guys, they're looking so good, aren't they? Absolutely love that. Stunning, stunning. The whole thing just works, doesn't it? Look, the ember tetras in the middle. It's really, really good. So I've set the temperature to 27 degrees Celsius, which is like 80 Fahrenheit. So rams like a lot warmer water, and the rest of the fish in there with them are absolutely fine at that temperature as well. So hopefully we'll get some nice breeding action, because apparently you need the higher temperatures to cause that to happen. But they look so good, don't they? Absolutely love them. Also, if any of you are wondering like how I put fish straight in, no cycling, that sort of thing, well, the canister filter's been running for months and months, like 6 months, over 6 months actually, because I had it running in a previous setup before the one before this. So that is well established and fully capable of, you know, these fish, which were in there before, weren't they? All we've added really is the 2 rams, which won't massively increase the bio load, so we're all good there.